All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, our Chachwadash, that belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, who teach, guide, and rule well. Greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, hopeful elect, Shalom unto you. And I just want to go into this another layer um, of the image of the beast. Now, when you understand what the image of the beast is, um, you'll see that it's something that has to have layers, okay, of real belief and life to it, okay? It has to have many layers and many facets of it, like life, because what the image of the beast is a way of life, okay? And I'm gonna read it in Revelation, but let me explain it first. When you look at an image of life, okay, it's basically set up by the beast and the beast system, by Satan and the devil, a fully anti Messiah belief system, if you will. Okay, so everything in it is against nature. It's against what's naturally should be happening. Okay, that's why you see pair bonding is like non-existent between man and woman, especially Jake men and women. It's just the norm. Women have no problem sleeping with as many men as they can to get as much experience as they can, and then still believe that they can connect to a rich man later in life. Okay, and because of their looks, you know, it's crazy. Now this is that's kind of a red pill idea, but look how they're I don't want to say solving, but how they're addressing it. Okay, when I bring it out, all right, because men, it's not a mystery, and when you go into the scriptures, say the same thing. Matter of fact, I will grab it. Okay, and it tells you the nature of how men and women um, connect for each other. Okay, so let me start here. Revelation 13. Start at verse 14. It says, matter of fact, 14 says, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he and what's the his miracles based out of science and technology. Okay, and that's where I'm going to go into some science per Reddit. Anyway, it says power to do in the sight of the beast. Okay, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now, not going to go all the way into it, but when you look at what Antiochus Epiphanes did, he was making an image, okay? And it's the same beast system, the Greco-Roman, and then the rebirth of the Roman Empire type anti-Messiah lifestyle, anti-power, anti-God lifestyle. Okay, whatever God said to do and how he set it up with the rules of how the people on earth should be, written in the Bible, the statutes, laws, and commandments of the Bible, there was always a heathen that came along and wanted to push something against that way of life, to question the Most High's wisdom in that way of life, and even his very existence. Okay, not to go that deep, but just to get your mind understanding where this is coming from. Okay, now when you look at their science and their technology, which this is what I'm getting into, and it is what builds this image of the beast. Okay, so it says that the which had the wound by a sword and did live. Okay, that's the Roman Empire that died, and then the Dark Ages came in for about 1,000 years, and then the rebirth of the Roman Empire came during the time of the Renaissance. Okay, it says here, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And how does he have power to give life unto the image of the beast? Well, he uses witchcraft. He uses his authority. He uses technology. Okay? If you don't know how, and this is particularly getting into sexuality between men and women, because how do you depopulate? Well, you keep men and women from connecting sexually, okay, and creating more life, okay, which was the purpose of be fruitful and multiply. So if you can keep those numbers down, how do you keep those numbers down? Contraceptives, Planned Parenthood, or what they're moving into now. Well, you've seen it already with the alphabet mafia, right? And then now they're even getting into a point where they've flooded the internet and teenagers' smartphones with porn and things that lead to promiscuity and porn. Okay, and then they've even the TV shows where these Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, these supposed child channels, they're even having these cues, these mental cues in it. Okay, that you're just gonna continue to slowly plant a seed here, plant a seed there until the kids feel a certain way about sex. Okay, this is a generation that barely gets any sex. As much as they're giving it away, they're barely getting any. Like when you look at the numbers. Okay, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to show you how this man gets down, because he takes up all the numbers. He looks at all of that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can Google that real quick.
Generation's initial sexual encounters were typically experienced around the age of 16 for baby boomers, Generation X, and millennials. But Generation Z is waiting to have sex.
They're waiting to have sex. Waiting for what? Waiting for what? A staggering 91% of millennials in relationships have sex at least once a week, compared to 78% of Gen Z, showing where their priorities lie. Priorities. Why? Because they're online. Okay? Let me see. Wow, the numbers are astounding. Anyway, back into this image, and this is right along with what they want. They want the new generations to have less and less sex. Okay, and they're not even talking I didn't see anything that led to homosexual sex either. It just says sex in general. But how you create through nature is what we're concerned about here. But watch what they've done. Okay, when I get to that, the articles. And and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, meaning come to life and be this way of life. When I go back to baby boomers and Gen X and even millennials, this wasn't even a possibility. The things that are being accomplished and taking place within Gen Z would never be accomplished in the previous generations, particularly X and boomers and even before them. Okay? Because they understood the basics of fundamental life. It wasn't a question. This is a new thing. And you can't ignore that this new way of life that's happening in the earth now, what was that? Leave the world behind. She said, I can't get a TV signal, so I'm gonna just run to the store and get some rabbit ears. And the little kid said, what is the rabbit ear gonna do now? And she really thought he meant rabbit's ears, like a real bunny rabbit's ears, when he was talking about a TV antenna. Like, they show the disconnect between parents and children, this generation, because of the interaction of the school system and the education system, how they're spending more time with your kids, they got your kids more involved, and the parents have to work longer and harder hours. So when they do get home after an 8 to 10 hour, work day, then they're too mentally burnt out to actually connect with their children, nor do they have the time now because they spend so many hours away from each other. And then as the years go on, you just drift further and further apart, and the parent feels good because they're like, well, my child is independent, they can do things, but they're not connected to you nor the family. They're supposed to be growing independent within the family, meaning functioning independently, not growing and living independently away from the love of the family. Okay, but this is part of the image of the beast. Okay, how do you know? You're looking at it. The numbers also say the belief in God has dwindled with this. Let me look it up. Let's see. Generation Z adults are less likely than older generations to join an established religion, far more likely to identify as LGBTQ and generally are less likely to be Republican, a new survey shows. Why is Republican put in there? Because it's the conservative political view, okay, which goes back to biblical views, which goes back to religious beliefs and closer to nature. All right, Jakes were naturally Republicans by definition of the group, of what the belief came from. Okay, now they forced our people into living a liberal lifestyle. Now they've got the whole youth following that liberal lifestyle. Why is Gen Z leaving the church? Look at these things. I didn't even ask all of this. The generation is largely in favor of LGBTQ rights, gender equality, and access to abortion. Economically, Gen Z has more favorable outlook on socialism than previous generations. Gen Z varies largely by country on whether to make it easier for legal migrants to live and work in their home countries. See that? Because they don't know, they don't understand, they don't see the bigger picture, nor are they told the bigger picture. Look at this. What percentage of baby boomers are religious? They got it right there. 69%. Absolutely certain. You see it? 71 silent. The silent generation. And the numbers just go further down as time goes on. From silent to the boomer to the Generation X, 64%. And then 54%. It just keeps losing as time goes on, as they created this image of the beast. Okay? And watch how it pales it toward the end. It says, and calls that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, when you go into a movie like The Sixth Day, okay, with Michael Rappaport and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mentioned Rappaport first because as his friend in the movie, when he got home, he was all excited, talking, "Where's my honey at? Where's my wife?" And you're thinking a woman's gonna come out the back and be in the kitchen or in the bedroom or whatever. And a hologram woman came on. The hologram woman came on this, walked around the house. He immediately sat in his chair and wanted his sexy time with her. I don't remember what he called it, but he wanted that type of interaction. He didn't go to the food. He went straight to that. Okay. Straight to that, showing you that's how men think, but at the same time, that's where his priorities were. Okay, so they flood you with porn, okay, and the younger smartphones, they flood you with porn to where you're addicted to that, which is going to show you in the article. But then they are changing what it means now, because now AI is generating sexual activity. Okay, particularly, let me get it. All right, this is from the Washington Post, which says AI dream girls are coming for porn stars' jobs. AI will change adult entertainment forever. The risk for sex workers and the rest of us are profound. And I couldn't get this whole article because they want me to subscribe and blah, 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 blah. But you can see where this is going, especially when you go online and you see people generating AI women, half-naked AI women. Then their voluptuousness is not even realistic. Okay? Like you look at, as a man, of course I'm going to look, but when you look at the overall, it's actually a turnoff because the uniqueness of a woman isn't there. They'll have a 27-year-old body with a 73-year-old face. They'll have, it'd be almost animated. It doesn't even look real, but you guys have so much screen time. The generations have especially Z has so much screen time that you your imagination fills it in. And there's a show that did this, that showed you how to adapt to the digital world. Let me grab it. Of course, it's Black Mirror.
While in Britain, a thrill-seeking American globetrotter signs up to test a video game in order to make some quick cash, but finds out the game is far too terrifyingly advanced.
When you really get into the show, it starts off with a little bear like that, right? See if I can get any images. Right? They hook him up into the thing, and they begin to read his thoughts. And as his thoughts upgrade, and his acceptance to like whack-a-mole or something like that, it became different. Like it became more real. His brain connected to what made it more real. Okay. I'm looking for it in here. But like you see, this is what that image became. From a little whack-a-mole to this, because this is what scared him. Okay, and it was meant to tap into your senses. Okay, and this is what they're doing with AI. How they know? They look at what you Google. These phones look right. It was funny. Mine watch me now because I don't have a cover over the camera. But these phones look at you and read your reactions. Okay, they begin to read where your eyes go. Okay, I seen a documentary years ago where it said maybe a PBS documentary or something like that. But basically, what it did was you put your head into this like computer thing, and it has videos in there, and the cameras are watching your eyes and where your eyes fall onto the screen, and it measures where it falls on the screen. And so they'll have say a man put his head into the screen, and they'll have a man's digital figure walk through, and they'll look to see what where the man looks at the man. As a man at that time anyway, men looked at the head first, then they looked at the man's physique, right? So basically height, head, and then the physique. Women looked at men by the physique, the shoulders, how broad the shoulders and muscular the chest was, then the arms, then they'll check the feet for shoes, and then they'll come back up to the face. For men looked at the overall physique, and then one main and probably the first area of the physique that they looked at was, as they say, childbearing hips. So they're looking for narrow waist and childbearing hips. Women have figured this out, and now they're augmenting to get that. So what do you think AI is doing? Okay, what do you think AI is creating with that? Okay, the people are given this whole thing all the image that they need to take from you. Okay, this was also in the movie.
About Ex Machina. Caleb Smith, a programmer at a huge internet company, wins a contest that enables him to spend a week at the private estate of Nathan Bateman, his firm's brilliant CEO.
Right? And you can read the rest there, right? Ava or Eve, right? You get into it. See if I can get any images. But as he said at one point in the movie, she was robotic, completely robotic. But then he added a face to her and kept the whole body robotic. And he started talking, but it was kind of like surface level talking to her and responses. Then the eye contact began to happen when you watch the movie. Then she put on like a dress, so she covered up the robotic body. And the less of the robot that he saw there with his natural eye, the less he was defensive with the conversation. He began to connect with the robot, with the AI robot. Okay, and then by the end, she was pretty much looked like a human. But they left a few things there to see if his mind would overlook those things, which toward the end of the movie, she was completely looking human, and he was completely enraptured in her, forgetting that she was a robot. Okay, which was the like that the Asian lady on the left of that picture on the right there talking to the robot. She was a robot. a AI robot. Okay, completely looked human, but she didn't even talk any language, I believe. All right, and so that was something that he set up in this, just so you would can see it. But this is, and he asked him in the movie, it was so genius how they laid it out. He asked him, he said, "Wait a minute, did you get this from my web browser searches?" He goes, "The reason I know that they were doing it and that it's not illegal because they can't say nothing because they're doing it. Basically, the internet companies are doing it. What do you think these cookies are? That's why when you'll say something about Adidas tennis shoes, all of a sudden Adidas tennis shoes start showing up. Or you Google something and now it's showing up. These things are starting to play into, and now they just got you automatically just saying yes for cookies and advertising. This is what we want to do. We want to make the search better for you. But what are they really learning? They're learning the human psyche. They're measuring how far into the beast system, how far this image can go. Okay, and they're not far off. Okay, now watch. And like it says in this, ethical issues, AI dream girls, because people are creating dream girls with this AI. And how does AI know what the dream girls are? Because you're giving them the info that you want. I want this tall, brunette, this size cup, this size hip waist, blah, 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 blah. This color skin, smooth, blah, 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 this color, whatever. Okay, you're creating the avatar of your dream girl, and AI is filling it in with personality traits that you give it. Okay, and that's what that movie Ex Machina, but Playtest, was about. Your imagination making it real. It tapping into your psyche, and now went from a simple 16-bit digital to 32-bit to now it's 4K, and it looks real. If you've looked at these video games nowadays, the PS5 and Xbox One and whatever else, let alone the internet games, the PC games, when there's sporting games, you can see sweat flying off of the people, okay, off of the athletes. You can see it. You can hear it. You can feel it. It feels like people love to tap in because they're almost vicariously playing in these games in POV, first person point of view. Okay, that's how deep these games have been created now, to where the people can't tell if they're in a dream or not. They can't tell if they're in an AI world or not. And a lot of times, when you go into also the movie Ready Player One with the Oasis, let me grab the little thing on it.
Here is some information about Ready Player One. In 2045, the planet is on the brink of chaos and collapse, but people find salvation in the Oasis, an expansive virtual reality universe created by eccentric James Halliday.
Right? And what is the Oasis? Nothing more than a metaverse. Okay? And you're in there, and he said, in the movie, said you just want to be in the Oasis. And here's the overall WEF quote: you will own nothing and be happy. Okay? Which, when you go in this, they were in like Columbus, Ohio or something, and they had trailers stacked upon what else these called? Like mobile homes. Okay? Stacked up in like a terrible looking neighborhood. And the guy, like everyone was always locked in into the Oasis. Okay? And they didn't have shit going on in their house. They're laying on the floor and the whole nine. And people see what they want to see, and it's just crazy. And you go in there and you change how you look in real life, and now you can go in there and be whatever you want to be inside the Oasis. Okay? Gender didn't matter. All these things didn't matter. You don't see them getting your mind ready for the metaverse? So they will allow in these digital AI worlds, they will give you a man's personality and a female outlook, and you will be in love because you enjoy that. Like, because you love the look of a woman, but you enjoy the mentality of a man. Like, it's crazy how they'll do this. And vice versa, and whichever way that you want to have it. Okay? This is what they're building our minds up to be locked into. All right? You if you don't see this happening in society, keep watching. Okay? Just keep watching. Back to the prophecy, it says, and he causeth all, matter of fact, and caused as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. How? How you gonna kill me because I don't want to worship this image, worship this type of lifestyle? Well, it says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, the charagma, the implant, right, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, so if you're not into this system, meaning you've pledged your allegiance by implanting it within you, the CHIP in you, okay, that's gonna hold all your info, all your natural info, your human info, okay, blood type, birth certificate, social security number, eye color. I mean, whatever, man. All this stuff can be changed, but just saying, they're gonna have your banking, credit history, social credit score. They're gonna have all these things in there, okay. And they're probably gonna judge you inside the metaverse or somewhere like that. Who's to say? Okay, but as all of this comes into fruition, you can see the things setting up with the 3 shows I've showed you, or 2 movies in the show I've showed you. You can see how this is easily being made into real life. And here's another article. All right, AI dream girls are coming for porn stars' jobs because they know these pornography business gets lots of views and money, lots of traffic. Okay. So they know people are watching, and they can see the numbers going down because there's so much easy access to it. Back in, when I was a child, and even before me, there were magazines, and there became videotapes. Then there's, you had the DVDs and whatever else, but you had to sneak and watch it when no one's around on a community, like the TV in the living room or in your bedroom or whatever. When years before, there was none. You didn't get TVs and stuff in the bedroom. That came later. Okay? Now it's like almost uncommon to see a household that doesn't have a TV in every room where everybody can go in their own private space and watch their own private information. It's gotten to the point where they don't even have TVs like that now. You're just tuned in on your smartphones. Okay? You're just in on your smartphone now. Which was another episode off of Black Mirror, which was what's the name of that one? What was the name of that one? It's the one where you have the little grain or the C-hip behind the ear, whatever, and then you can go back and rewind the entire history of you. Okay, you can go back and rewind stuff, and then play it up, put it on the screen. You can share it with the screen for everybody. You can share what your memory was from your perspective with everybody on the screen. Okay, but you can just watch it inside your own head. All right, and if you don't see that them gradually try to get this smart technology into your, it's already into your mental, but it's not in your physically in your mind yet, but it's getting there. Okay, so if they add that to it, people will take it. Yeah, I'll be the smartest guy ever if I could just Google everything that I want, all the information I want, and have it at a moment's notice. And in the show, you can see them doing that. 2 people were talking, they didn't really remember each other, so they both were recalling what they how they knew each other. They were up there asking questions so they can find out where they were. Yeah, that one party, the company party. Yeah, you were in the green hat, I remember. And they're like seeing it in their memory, replaying their memory. Redos, I think they called it. All right, so all of these situations are showing you how this image could come to full life. But you can see the depopulation in it as well. Okay, because they got you watching porn, which is a depopulation tactic, as contraceptives were in previous generations of people that still were having physical sex. They've completely turned the women against the men. They made the women completely oblivious to pair bonding and connecting with a man, with one man. Now these women are being taught by their mothers and even grandmothers by this point that they don't need a man, that they just need an education given to them by the beast. Okay, that they need to get a man for as much money as they can because he could leave you and cheat on you and you need to get something out of it, out of the deal. So keep jumping from man to man before he leaves and hurts you and just keep taking his money. All right, like the money's going to be anything. And that's why this situation, when the day of the Lord comes, is going to reset Jacob's trouble and all that's going to reset everything, man. Going to put whatever thoughts you had of what you believed and pride that you believed in and had for yourself is going to collapse. And only the belief in Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to prevail. All right, moving back to the articles. All right, so look at this. They're saying orgasms rewire the brain. Surprising new findings from Prairie Vole research. And they think this is true about humans because it's going to say they're the closest to humans. All right. Yep. See how this is because I had it on a different thing. Yep. So we're going to start up and we're just going to read through a little bit. I'll try to read as much as I can, but this should put you in understanding. Okay. It says scientists have unveiled the first comprehensive brain map detailing the regions activated in prairie voles. Let's look what a prairie vole is. I think it's a rodent. Prairie vole. It's a rodent. Okay. Called you people rodents, man. Okay. All right. It says scientists have unveiled the first comprehensive brain mapping detailing the regions activated in prairie voles during mating and pair bonding. Okay, this small Midwestern rodent, known for forming long-term monogamous relationships, which monogamy for men was a depopulation thing as well. The whole idea of monogamous, and women was with it anyway. It says has provided a fascinating glimpse into the complexities of attachment and love. Whoa! The study published in the journal eLife reveals that both male and female voles experience nearly identical patterns of brain activity across 68 distinct regions regions during the stages of mating, bonding, and the development of a stable, enduring bond. The findings also point to a surprising connection between orgasms and neural activity. So, like porn, and they're gonna connect it to humans in just a minute. And one of these is going to say, I read, the study addresses a fundamental question. How does sex relate to lasting love? Now, let's not forget that sex is what consummates marriage. Okay, so it makes it real because that's the two flesh become one, right? Scientists have long recognized the importance of social bonds in enhancing the quality of life, reducing, that's why they can't ignore it. They can't just completely cut the people away from it. Okay? They have to keep the people docile and relaxed. And they plan to do it with AI, Dream Girl, porn. Okay? And even they had cyborg strippers. Okay, I mean, the one I watched I think I did a video on it. The one I watched, I mean, she was doing pole dancing like a real woman, clearly a robot, but the movements were all there, no different. Okay, this is something that they're doing on purpose, man. This is a purposeful thing. Okay, to get you from the actual connection of man and woman. They've already broken to where you want to choose a robot or online or even a fantasy of porn rather than the real life interactions. They make, if you notice, people are so connected to social media and their smartphone that they don't even have natural conversations the same way. You know, where a man had to have game and be like, hey, baby, you know, I know you like me, I like you, your eyes are pretty, or whatever, you know, we used to say, or men say, you know, to bring the walls or the guard down of a woman, and then the woman saying what she does, and no, playing hard to get, blah, 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 blah. Then eventually they go out on dates and they like each other, and then they go on until that point happens. That whole thing has been cut out and made um, unnatural and uncomfortable. Okay, during that whole situation. All right, the younger the generations get, the more uncomfortable and unnatural those situations get when they're just a natural part of life. You have to develop people skills to have those interactions. And you're noticing this generation doesn't have it, though they have all the info and they know all the history on things. They don't know the actual experience of it because they're getting it all from online, from others' experiences. They're living it vicariously, okay, through someone else, okay, through stories passed down. Oh, my daddy, my great great granddaddy was a pimp, and he used to have hoes all the time. He'd be able to do this. He met girls, this and that. Passed down is not the same as you actually having the experience for yourself. Okay, and then showing somebody, guiding them far enough along to where they can pick it up, and they have to begin to have experiences for themselves. Okay, it says the studies address the fundamental question: how does sex relate to lasting love? Scientists have long recognized the importance of social bonds in enhancing the quality of life, reducing stress, and even extending lifespan across various species, including humans. Yet the neural mechanisms underpinning these bonds, especially in the context of romantic and enduring relationships, have remained elusive. All right? Meaning it's hard to grasp and hold on to. By focusing on prairie voles, the species whose social and mating behaviors closely resemble those of humans in terms of monogamy and long term bonding, the researchers aim to shed light on the neural circuits that facilitate these complex social behaviors. The research team initiated their investigation by selecting sexual naive prairie voles, young, right, which were then prepared through a process that ensured females were in estrus, creating a uniform starting point for observing mating behaviors and bond formation. Right, so they all began at the same point. They always caught them basically after their period, is what I'm gathering. But shit, this will give me a little insight on it. Dictionary. Oh, I could just hit define. So lucky. Bear with me. Define that word. Estrus, a recurring period of sexual receptivity and fertility in many female mammals. Heat. So basically, starting when females were in heat, right? It says through a series of controlled behavioral experiments, more than 200 voles were paired under various conditions, allowing the researchers to monitor the progression from initial mating interactions to the establishment of a stable pair bond. Right? These observations were meticulously recorded, focusing on activities indicative of bonding such as mating, grooming, and social interactions. While that's there, it says following the behavioral phase of voles, brains were prepared for neural imaging, employing techniques like perfusion and fixation, immunolabeling for immediate early genes to mark natural or neural. I can't see the word, man. All right. Uh, to mark neural activity and scanning with light sheet fluorescent microscopy to generate high resolution 3D images of brain tissue. The researchers found that the formation and maintenance of monogamous relationships. Their findings demonstrated that the experience of mating and subsequent bond formation activities a wide array of brain regions, much broader than previous identified in any study of social bonding. Specifically, they discovered across 68 distinct brain regions, which were grouped into 7 major circuits. This widespread neural engagement suggests that the process of forming a lasting bond is not localized to a few areas, but involves a coordinated brain-wide network. Okay. One of the most striking findings from the study was the high degree of similarity in brain activity pattern between male and female voles during the bonding process. This challenged the prevailing hypothesis that sex differences influenced by sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone would lead to distinct neural pathways for bonding in males and females. Instead, the researchers found that both sexes share nearly identical neural circuitry during the stages of mating, bonding, and establishment of a stable, enduring bond. Okay, quote that was a surprise, says Stephen Phelps, a professor of integrative biology at the University of Texas at Austin and senior authority of the study. Quote, sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone are important for sexual, aggressive, and parental behaviors. So the prevailing hypothesis was that the brain activity during mating and bonding would also be different between the sexes. End quote. Male ejaculation, this is I think where I picked up the other study. Male ejaculation served as the strongest predicator of neural activity across the 68 brain regions associated with bonding in prairie voles. This finding was unexpected as it suggests that the act of ejaculation during mating plays a crucial role in activating the neural circuits involved in bond formation. Okay? And you have to, when you look at how pair bonding and consummating a marriage and that whole activity of two flesh becoming one, this is part of that. Okay? With that act. It's much more to it, but with that act, and science is backing it up, even in prairie voles as well as humans, right? Importantly, this effect was not isolated to males. Females exhibited increased bonding related activities when paired with males who reached this milestone, indicating a shared neural response to the mating process that facilitates pair bonding. The profound fact of male ejaculation on bonding related neural activity in both partners suggests that this event may serve as a critical biological signal that triggers a cascade of neurological responses conducive to bond formation. So when the man bust one, I don't know what you want to hear, ejaculated, bust one, came, whatever, not to be over sexualized in this video, but showing you this major something is that they're cutting it out. Because if you're getting off on AI porn, it's not even to people no more, but you're getting off on AI porn because men have become that's why there's passport brothers, men trying to go their own way and leave and go to other countries and find a suitable mate. Okay, and they go off and they have sex and then they return and then they're hoping the connection happens and blah, blah, blah. When you're not doing that and you're having porn sex, so to speak, or you're ejaculating through porn, it's the seed isn't going anywhere. Okay, it doesn't have a chance of incubating, finding and what's the whole process, and fertilizing the egg in the woman, and the seed grows and it incubates in the woman, and the whole process is eliminated. So men have that feeling, but there's no one to share that connection with. Okay, and so it's detaching people further. Okay, where was I at? Yep. This mechanism could be an evolutionary adaptation to enhance reproductive success by promoting the formation of stable monogamous pair bonds, which are beneficial for cooperative rearing of offspring in species like the prairie vole. No different than humans, man. You wonder why couples don't stay together? Is because they've had too many connections with other men. And so their pair bond never truly happens. So they're not invested in their offspring the same way they would be as if all of that was in place. Okay, the brain and behavior data suggests that both sexes may be having orgasm-like responses, and these orgasms coordinate the formation of a bond, Phelps said. If true, it would imply that orgasms can serve as a means to promote connection, as long as has long been suggested in humans. Okay, so they're making a connection with rodents and humans. While the study represents a significant leap forward in understanding in neurobiology of bonding, right? They're making these bonds happen with everything else. And all they have to do now, when you watch these movies like The Matrix, said, what is real, right? He said, because thoughts is really just a bunch of electrical signals going to your brain. So if they're able to send certain electrical signals to your brain's going to believe it's real. Everything's real except the fertilization, okay, that creates life. All right. Additionally, let me go back. The reliance on immediate early gene introduction as a proxy for neural activity may not capture all relevant neuron activations, right? Additionally, the experiment design focused on sexual receptive animals might have restricted the variable in sex behavior, potentially overlooking other factors influencing bond formation, right? So it's just mapping. They're trying to figure out how to make this stuff more connectivity in your brain without the physical part connected to it, okay? Because the physical part connecting to it is the part that um, being fruitful and multiplies, uh, you know, begins to happen at. All right. And like there's a lot of this in here. It's only another, I'll read it. So the researchers advocate for further studies to explore the variety of neural and behavioral dynamics involved in pair bonding, including the role of different cell types in identified brain regions and the effect of non-sexual social interactions. Right? They didn't put them in non-sexual. They only got them when they were in heat. But see, they know how to create that heat with people by having porn or sexual triggers all through the screen. Okay, I'm sure they know the color that promotes sex. I'm sure they know the sounds and the lighting and the flickering and the rhythms that do it. I'm sure they know all those things. Okay, I'm sure they've studied all of that by now. This devil is wiser than Daniel. Okay, he's done a diligent search to figure these things out. That's why at the beginning I said their science and their witchcraft is the two biggest things that they got going for them. The witchcraft is to making you believe you're having that human experience when you're actually having a digital AI or robotic experience, man. Okay, believing it's a sexual human to human experience. Okay, so this man has got this set up for this beast, man, for this image. Okay, this beast has got it set up. So now you can just be in your home alone with your UBI, and you continue to buy certain enhancements to your bots. Okay. All right. And this is what they want you to do, to become truly useless eaters that they can penalize when you step out of line in the metaverse and deduct off your social credit score. Okay, and penalize you if you begin to think differently or do or act differently. As we say here, you get into those Black Mirror episodes, man, you start seeing the full beast image recognized, realized, if you will, in different situations, man. Okay, great show, man, and I think that was pretty much the end of that. All right, so I'll end it there, just showing you how they're saying basically ejaculation or orgasm creates a bond between people, and they're taking that bond away from people because the generations are having less and less sex, creating less and less people on the earth, which is another way of depopulating. Okay, we know Bill Gates on a TED Talk spoke about depopulating, even the way he would do it, which he's doing that. And then there's other ways. When he said 15% with the jabs, we can get that. If we can do a few other things with Planned Parenthood and such and such and such and such, we can really get the numbers down to where we'll feel good about it. What? Get the numbers of life down? I mean, killing people? Yeah, that's the image of the beast, man. They want to be able to control everybody. All right? And so here, sidepost.org, right? Orgasms rewire the brain. Surprising new findings. Okay, from Prairie Voles. All right? So I just want to give you the heads up on it, man. Okay? These things, and if you should be able to see that and how that plays into reality. This is one of the many facets and layers of this image of the beast, that you won't have a true human connection with another human. All the human connections, you go to that Ready Player One movie, all the human connections were made in the Oasis. Well, I've never actually met this person in real life, but we're best friends in the Oasis. Okay? Showing you how perverted this man is, but how much he's bloodthirsty for control, man, and that godlike power. So anyway, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying, giving all praise and glory in the Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash, double honor to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, and much love unto you, hopeful elect. Shalom.